All right, welcome to the University of Maine, and thank you for joining us. I'm Chef Rob Dumas, and I'm joined here today by Dr. Colt Knight, and we are doing a series of videos on taking chicken to market forms. We're using some lovely chickens that have been pasture raised Witter Farm here by the students in the Animal and Veterinary Science program, and we're going to take these to a variety of different cuts in the next few videos. Hope you enjoy. All right, well, welcome back. So we've got a couple more beautiful pasture birds here. We're going to go ahead and take this big boy, and we're going to cut this into 8-piece bone-in chicken, right? So this is your classic barbecue or your classic baked chicken. We're going to break this down to the drums, the thighs, the breast, and the wings, and we're going to leave everything bone-in. We're also going to have a really nice carcass for stock, and we're going to have some nice skin for schmaltz. I'm going to make my first cut here, and I'm going to take some of this excess skin off the neck, and we're going to save that for rendering for schmaltz. So first step here, we're going to create a little bit of space between the breasts and the thighs. We're going to loosen up that skin. We want to have good skin coverage so that when we eat our chicken, we've got some really lovely crispy skin on every cut, right? And the skin also does a nice job of protecting the chicken meat from overcooking, right? Because chicken meat's naturally very lean. The skin is where you're going to have some fat to help kind of protect those lean cuts from getting overcooked. So as you become a chicken cooking master, you will come to appreciate that chicken skin, right? So we want to make those cuts all the way down, loosen it up. The next step, we're going to dislocate our thighs, right? So we're going to pop that bone out of that ball and socket joint there. We're going to pop that loose on both sides, okay? Now we're going to do kind of a cool little trick here where we're going to remove the thigh, and we're going to get this lovely little cut of meat called the oyster. So we're going to follow right along that backbone as close as possible. We want to take the meat off the carcass and leave it on the thigh. When we get into that socket joint, we're going to give it just a little bit of a tug, and that is going to remove the entire oyster, which is this lovely little piece of chicken right here, and it's going to leave a nice clean cavity right there. So we're going to set that aside, and we're going to repeat the process with our other thigh right here. And again, stay close to the backbone. Once you get into the socket, stop, give it a little tug, and you've removed a lovely leg quarter there. So now we've got our lovely breast crown here, wings. We're going to remove a little bit of this backbone so we can take the breast off the backbone from the inside. So I just make a simple little cut right here, not cutting through any bone. I'm then going to crack, right, and pass through where I cracked it. This is going to allow me to keep my knife a little bit sharper, the less bone that I have to cut through, right? So you can see how I made that nice cut right there after breaking the backbone with my hand. Now, this piece of the backbone here is a piece of treasure, right? Not a piece of trash. So we want to use this to make some really lovely stock, and to make also, in addition to stock, we're going to make some really lovely schmaltz. So we're going to take our skin off of this, and we're going to pile that up with the skin from the neck, and then we're going to cut this pygoil gland off, as it can, under some superstition there, could add some bad flavors to your stock. So we'll set that aside. Now, we've got our breast crown here, and we're going to go ahead and we are going to remove the backbone from this. So we're going to stand it up on its front end there. We're going to go right down into here, and we're going to cut straight down to the board through the backbone, using the board as leverage for our knife. All right, we're going to come straight through. Sometimes you can get a little hung up right here at the end. That's okay. Okay, we're just going to fold that right out rather than fighting with it. And again, another good piece for stock, right? Don't be afraid to take that skin off and save that in your pile there for rendering. And that's going to allow you to have some lovely fat and less skimming on your stock later on, okay? So we've got no more backbone, and we've got our breast here, and we've exposed the keel bone from the inside. Now these chickens have just a little bit of ice in them because we were keeping them real cold. Just going to discard that. And the first cut we're going to make here is we're going to cut right into the top of that keel bone, and then we're going to crack to create a little bit of separation here. Now you can completely remove that keel bone if you want to, or you can just simply pass right along one side of it. This is an older chicken. This was taken at 10 weeks rather than the typical 8 or 9 weeks for Cornish. So it's a little bit tougher. So I'm just going to leave that right in there. So we've got 2 lovely breasts right here, but we're going to take these wings off so that we have the wings for to complete our 8 pieces. So hold the chicken by the wing, and you're going to look with your knife to not cut too much of your breast off in the process. You want to use the tip of your knife, and you want to pass right through this joint here, cutting away at the ball and socket joint, right? And that's going to be the easiest place for your knife to pass through. So it'll be a place of naturally kind of less resistance. And again, you've got your nice big breast here, bone in. We're just going to trim a little bit of the excess fat off of that. And this would be pretty fantastic as baked chicken or on the barbecue as barbecue chicken. So we'll set that aside right over here. Just about need 2 hands to pick that big boy up. All right, I'm going to set my wing aside as well. And I'm going to go ahead and take this wing off of this breast here. And again, we're going to lift it up. We're going to take our knife right in, staying close to the wing. And you're looking with the tip of your knife, you're trying to find that joint and then pass through it, right? If you're finding a lot of resistance, then you're not in the joint. So we've got our wing off there. We're going to set that aside. Again, just looking at our breast here, we want to look for any excess skin that might be hanging on, either the top or the bottom. Trim those away. And again, we've got a really lovely bone-in breast there. So we'll return to our wings really quick, and I'll show you how to break those down into your drums and your flats, but that's totally optional. A big wing like this is very lovely on the barbecue grill or fried. Okay, so again, we're going to pass right through that joint. You'll see I created a little bit of separation by cracking it. That's optional. And for our flat, we're going to take off the tip. So that would be our wing broken down into its 3 pieces. This doesn't have a lot of good eating value, but it is wonderful for your stock. So add that in with your backbone. Now you've got your lovely drum and your lovely flat. We'll set that there, and we're going to repeat the process on this one. So look at the chicken, look for where the drum and the flat come together. Use your knife, create a little bit of space there. See, the ball and socket joint, pass right through it. Okay, same thing here. Working from the inside of the joint, look for that ball and socket joint, pass right through it. Okay, so you've got your wing into its 3 pieces again, and we're going to set these onto our clean tray here. We call this our landing zone, right? And we're going to do one last cut on these leg quarters to go ahead and have our drums and our thighs. So on the inside of this leg quarter, you'll see a line of fat. Okay, you want to cut right through that line of fat, and that's going to take you right through that ball joint again. It's all about cutting through where the ball joints are at and not cutting through the bone. You've got a lovely bone-in thigh right here. We're going to set that on our tray, and we're going to repeat the process one more time on this last leg quarter. So again, look for that line of fat with your knife. Follow that line of fat. If you find some resistance, then you're not in the joint, all right? Okay, so there's the joint. The first time I was a little off, passed right through it. So we've got our lovely thigh, our lovely drum, and we're going to set those right on our board. So to look at our finished cuts here, we have our drums, our thighs, we've got our 2 bone-in breasts here, we've got our pile for stock right here of our backbones and wingtips, and then we've got our lovely wing drums and our lovely wing flats. And so that is a whole pasture chicken into bone-in 8-piece, right? Perfect for the fry, perfect for barbecue, and great for baked chicken as well. So hope you enjoyed this video.
This video was brought to you by the University of Maine Cooperative Extension Grazing Behavior Lab and the Matthew Highlands Pilot Plant. We would like to extend a special thanks to the J. Franklin Witter Undergraduate Research Endowment Fund for providing the chicken.
Classically trained in French culinary cuisine at It's like
size too small?
Yeah. I don't know if yours, did you get one of these hats too, or? Exactly, yeah. I don't understand what this hat's deal is. I feel like it should have like a little spinny thing on top, like it's a clown hat.